Welcome back to My Views and News, continuing our coverage of the ongoing conflict in Sudan. Several updates for you. Firstly, viewers, new reinforcements are arriving in Khartoum city. We have received this information through some local sources. It was being claimed by some officers of Sudanese military yesterday that RSF could withdraw from southern Khartoum. But today we received reports about arrival of new reinforcements on both sides. Secondly, viewers, the pictures, satellite images from Khartoum city are being shared. Maxar Technology released these images showing the level of destruction in Khartoum. Thirdly, a militia announced around 24 hours ago to support Sudanese army in this war. Militia was armed, raised by Sudanese army. And lastly, IGAD yesterday nominated 3 presidents to mediate between Abdul Fattah al-Burhan and Hamati Hamdan Dagalo. Firstly, viewers, we have seen that the major push of this offensive from RSF is towards capital. They tried to take control of key sites in capital, and they took control of Marve, which is an air base to the north of Khartoum. So main push was towards Khartoum and towards northern Sudan. And we saw that RSF was faced with stiff resistance, mainly because of airstrikes. So wherever RSF camps are, RSF's deployments are, Sudanese army is conducting airstrikes. So is RSF considering a withdrawal from areas close to Khartoum? Because a Sudanese military officer yesterday claimed that rapid support forces could withdraw from southern Khartoum. And around 48 hours ago, Sudanese military announced that it would be forced to make more deployments of Sudanese military to Khartoum. So what is happening in Khartoum city? Any signs of withdrawal? Two pieces of information for you. Firstly, in eastern Sudan, we saw that RSF's camps were stormed by Sudanese military, and camps were taken over by Sudanese military. In yesterday's videos, I showed you the arrival of Sudanese military at these camps. So the camps of rapid support forces in Gadaref, Kassala, Port Sudan, Damazin are under the control of Sudanese military. So where are RSF fighters? We have not seen large number of RSF fighters taken prisoner from eastern Sudan. Where are they? Are they heading towards Darfur, their traditional stronghold? Have they been dispersed? Are they trying to move towards capital, Khartoum? So what we have learned is that their main push of the retreating RSF soldiers from eastern Sudan is towards capital. They want to reach capital Khartoum, but yes, on their way they are vulnerable to airstrikes. Airstrikes are being conducted on them, but they want to reach Khartoum. So it's clear RSF is not withdrawing from Khartoum, rather it is sending more reinforcements from eastern Sudan towards Khartoum. Firstly. Secondly, same is being done by Sudanese military. Of course, it won't withdraw from Khartoum city. But new reinforcements of Sudanese military have arrived in Khartoum in the past 24 hours reportedly. Shindi infantry and Atbara artillery are arriving in Khartoum city because we know that Urban combat is ongoing in Khartoum, though urban combat is limited because Sudanese Air Force is mainly relying on airstrikes. But airstrikes are not enough to remove RSF from Khartoum, from key places. They have their presence in and near main sites in Khartoum. So that is why now special units of infantry and artillery are being sent to Khartoum. So it means that Khartoum will remain a battlefield in coming days. No signs of any de-escalation or any withdrawal of rapid support force from Khartoum city. Secondly, the satellite images are being shared by Maxar Technologies, showing the level of destruction which is happening in Khartoum city. The images were released around 10 hours ago. The images show the damage caused at Khartoum International Airport. You can see an image on your screen showing some aircrafts parked on a runway in Khartoum at Khartoum International Airport. Smoke can be seen rising from at least one civilian aircraft. The two other images show destruction at buildings of Ministry of Defense and the building housing headquarter of Sudanese military. Some other images are also released showing the destruction of train stations, markets, etc. So, Khartoum is destroyed. It is being destroyed gradually, though so far destruction is at limited places. Only the buildings where fighting is ongoing. But obviously airstrikes are not very accurate, especially we don't know about the precision target capability of Sudanese Air Force. So that is why we're saying that this destruction is now spreading. And so far, flights are suspended. Khartoum International Airport is not back to normal. Fighting ongoing in near the airport premises. Thirdly, viewers, militias are joining Sudanese military. Sudanese military has been secretly raising, arming militias, and some of them are now announcing their support for the military. 24 hours ago, Sudan Shield, which is a Sudanese militia, announced that it would support the armed forces in the fight against RSF. This Sudan Shield around a month ago announced that it had around 150,000 fighters trained, armed. Military intelligence wing of Sudanese military trained and armed this militia, which is now becoming part of the war in support of Sudanese military. It means that in terms of numbers, Sudanese military has definitely a clear advantage over RSF. If you look at comparative numbers, Sudanese military allied militias are greater in number. And RSF claims that some groups, Islamist groups, hardliners are supporting the Sudanese military. Yesterday they named 3 groups, Aman Shabi, Dafa Shabi and Mujahideen, that these 3 militias, extremist militias are supporting Sudanese military, and that RSF had captured a number of fighters of these militias and units, because these are now working in collaboration with Sudanese army. So you see that there is already a mess in Sudan. Political mess, security mess, ethnic conflicts ongoing for 2 decades, economic situation alarming, inflation, poverty, unemployment, rising food prices, declining value of local currency. There are multiple challenges in Sudan, but Sudanese ruling elite from the security institutions are fighting. Last awards, IGAD has nominated 3 African presidents to mediate in Sudan. The 3 presidents are firstly from Kenya, William Ruto, from Djibouti, Ismail Omar, and from South Sudan, Salva Kiir. Salva Kiir made an offer of mediation around 48 hours ago. Now, we're seeing that a broader mediation panel is being established by IGAD. These 3 African presidents will visit Khartoum or some other Sudanese city once security situation improves. So far, obviously, it's difficult for anyone to visit Khartoum because fighting ongoing. Where will the aircrafts land? The Khartoum International Airport is seeing fighting ongoing there even today. So that is why no sign of arrival today. But reportedly, IGAD is now trying to take the lead. African Union met as well in Addis Ababa. Its Peace and Security Council met. But only African leaders cannot steer Sudan to peace, stability towards some sort of settlement. Because there is significant involvement of Middle Eastern countries, involvement of EU, US, UN. So you need a broader mechanism for mediation between Dagalo. Maybe Russia should be involved as well, between Dagalo and Al Burhan. That is the way forward. But it's a good step that delegations are being announced, they're being formed for visits to Sudanese capital Khartoum to meet between Burhan and Hamati. Thank you for watching.